Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today with a surprise entrance into the WWE Royal Rumble. This video is because of somebody writing in to the Wrestling Observer mailbag asking a question about why it's not being rumored for somebody like Sid to have a run in the WWE. Just being a one-night only attraction at the Royal Rumble, seeing how this year's Royal Rumble is going to be billed from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. I know that when they first announced that the Royal Rumble was going to be held in the Alamo Dome, they kept putting over the legends such as Shawn Michaels, who wrestled against Sid in the championship match that night. There was a lot of rumors at the time that one of the reasons why WWE ran the Alamo Dome with 60,000 people in it was because Shawn Michaels wanted to wrestle in the Alamo Dome in front of a big packed house in his hometown to sort of, soothe Shawn Michaels' ego. And in order to fill up the house that night, Jim Cornette has come out and basically said that, they basically sold $5 tickets. If you look at the card for that show that night, they packed it full of a lot of, sort of Mexican wrestling stars to sort of bring in fans that were not straight WWE fans at that time. You had Hector Garza on that side. You had Pero Aguayo on that show. They had minis on that show. There was a lot of legends throughout the Royal Rumble at that time, filling out the 30 contestants that were in there. One of the reasons was because the roster was so thin at that time. If you go back to my videos talking about Bret Hart's not coming to the Rumble, Austin's not coming to the Rumble. Shawn Michaels isn't coming. I kept on basically saying that this is the home of the Spurs, and I was corrected by Miss WWE Fan 13, Layla, who I've met at WrestleMania countless times. She's going to be going again this year, setting up the YWO. I think it's on cue that Ravi's going to be at WrestleMania this year. I honestly don't even know if Miguel's going. I know that Jem's going. I know that Luke's going. But it's almost like everybody's going in their own separate directions. And I can honestly say that I don't think that I'm the glue that would have held everything together. But I honestly still don't have any regret over not going. But I know, from watching, the YWO. Give me a little rubski here. Come on, guys. Help me out. But I know that from watching their videos that they'll make that it'll be fully covered. If I went back to WrestleMania 29, it was the Lorenzo's videos as well as Ravi's videos that pulled me through. Tons of people from New York made videos that year. I believe it's CJ Productions made videos. Bobby made videos. And I remember me and Miguel, who was staying at my house that time because we went to San Francisco, we had a ton of fun. So I know that because of YouTube, it's almost going to be like I wish I was there. But it's almost like every night when I get home, I know that somebody's going to upload a video, and it's almost going to be like I was there. So that's one of the reasons why I love the YWC and all the videos that everybody posts up on there. But to get to the focus of this video, before I went off on that rant because of Miss WWE Fan telling me that the Spurs don't play in the Alamo Dome anymore, which I should know honestly because of the fact that I love basketball. But I think that one of the participants that could have been in the Rumble this year as a surprise guy would be Sid. Sid is a guy that still honestly is in wrestling shape, who does, not do a ton, but does do indies from time to time. Dave Meltzer said on The Observer when he answered the question that, Sid still is in shape. He still does enter himself in bodybuilding competitions. It's just a fact of if WWE wants to give him the call in order to be there. If you go back to the build-up to Raw 1000 and the countless numbers of jobbers that were beating up Heath Slater on a weekly basis, whether that was Bob Backlund or Lita or I think Vader, Sid was one of the guys that did get a weekly return building up to Raw 1000, and it was a big one, and it honestly was bigger than I thought it would be. Sid is always one of those guys that I joke about that they're running out of guys to put into the WWE Hall of Fame, and, when you run down the list of guys that have been, WWF champion, which is like the pinnacle of being at the top of the business, Sid is like the one name that escapes that is not into the Hall of Fame yet. That is a guy that could be getting the calls sooner than later, even though he's a guy that a lot of people don't think is one of the best big men in the business. Just sort of was a guy that was there at a time. I think that honestly, if you watch Sid's early career in WCW before it was sidetracked, even not even when he left the first time to come to WWF to be the new Hulk Hogan. I think it was when he got upset with the way that he was being treated in WWF. Maybe wasn't getting everything that he was promised. I think he left after WrestleMania 8, but I'm not 100% sure. But it was definitely after, the scissors accident. Well, not accident. I think the better word is the scissors incident with Arn Anderson when they got in a fight in a hotel room, and I can't remember if he stabbed him or if he just tried to stab him, but I'm going to have to go back and watch the Too Cold Scorpio shoot interview, because I think he was the one guy that was on the scene that saw it all go down, and he tells a story on a RF video shoot interview, which I'm sure has been put up on YouTube, and we can go watch it as soon as we're done with this. Hey, where are you going? Don't be pausing this and looking for it now. Then maybe I'll just ask Jim what he remembered about it, because I'm sure Jim will remember it more than anybody else. But I think that honestly, Sid is a guy that could come in. I did see a video of him doing an indie, which looked like there was about 20 fans in the audience. He didn't look that good, but he also wasn't using his left arm for some reason when he was in the match. He was throwing all his punches with the right, and even when he tried to pick the guy up for the power bomb, he didn't move his left arm. I hadn't heard any, stories about Sid having a stroke or anything like that. Maybe he had an injury and just couldn't use it because it was hurt, and it's just a bad video where he had to make a booking in order to make that money, or maybe he didn't want to let the promoter down and he was the only star that was going to be on the show, something like that, so he just did what he could do. But if Sid looks like, and Sid can be like what he was at Raw 1000, Sid is a guy that honestly could come into the Royal Rumble, be one of those surprise guys. You don't need to have a whole bunch of them. I think that if you have like 3, and they're not Hacksaw Jim Duggan or Bob Backlund, the fans go home happy. I mean, if you think about the last few years, Road Dogg got a huge response. Diesel got a huge response the first time they used them. And there's other guys that are out there that can take these spots. No one thinks they're going to win. Even the Boogeyman got a huge response. Like, think of the one that, I'm going to call him Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley got when he came back, and he didn't even have Devon. He did the spots with R-Truth on The Miz, and people were going bananas for him because people love the old stuff. And it's not saying that all of this stuff today sucks, but people remember the old stuff better because they forget the stuff that did suck at the time. They sort of strain it out and only remember the good things, sort of like the Attitude Era. Everybody remembers Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, and nobody thinks about Duke the Dumpster Drosy and the Godwins and shit like that was still going down at that time, or stuff like that. So I'm pulling for Sid to be in the Rumble. I hope he's going to be there. We'll see what you guys think about it, and I'll see you guys down the road.